Hello, my name is Ines, and I'm going to interview Arina, who is our English teacher from Canada.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Okay, to start, I'm going to ask you some personal things. Where are you from?
I'm from Toronto, Canada.
Okay, how many siblings do you have?
I have just one older sister.
Okay, and does she live in Canada?
She lives in Canada and I actually miss her very, very much because as we're the only two, I have a really good connection with her. I miss her a lot.
What did you study and why?
I studied linguistics. I'm also very artsy, so I thought to study that, but at the end I decided to study linguistics because I really love languages in general, all of them. And linguistics studies not just languages, but how they developed over time, how people learn them since they're little tiny kids, and that's always interested me.
Okay. When did you decide to come to Spain?
Oof. I can't explain it actually because I don't have any Spanish roots. We don't have anybody in the family who speaks Spanish or even has been to Spain, but I've always had that attraction to the Spanish language and Spanish culture, and I wanted to study it even when I was a small child. Again, inexplicably. So when I went to university, I studied Spanish, and after I finished, I decided that I will come here to Spain, I will teach English, and meanwhile, I will also learn Spanish.
What are your hobbies?
My hobbies are photography, what is one of them, and I love hiking. So I think I'm in the perfect place. This is paradise for me, with the mountains and the beach. So really, I'm in heaven here in Spain.
What was the country or the city you enjoyed the most and why?
In Spain.
Yes.
Or in general.
In Spain.
In Spain. I have to tell you that I haven't traveled that much in Spain yet. And what I love in general about Spain is that it's very different region to region. It varies a lot. It feels like you're traveling through several different countries instead of one. But I love coming home to Santander. I call it home. I love bigger cities to explore, but I love the convenience of a pedestrian city with, like I said, with the nature and a bit of culture, but it's not too big, it's not too small. So I'd say Santander for living, and then for traveling to visit, I don't know. I really like the south, of course. It's different, but it's very touristy for me. So I prefer the north.
What things do you think that Spain has better than Canada? And what about Canada than Spain?
Okay. I haven't traveled in Canada that much either. So I know just the southern border. I've been to the French part of Canada, to Montreal, and I lived in Toronto. So what I like about it is that it's super multicultural. In fact, it's the most multicultural city in the world, or it has been at least. So when you're on the street, you see all types of people. In fact, some people that, you have maybe 20, 40 representatives of that ethnicity, and you can meet them in Toronto. And of course, as a result, you have lots of languages, you have lots of food, you have lots of culture and cultural festivals. And I love that. And also, it's easier to find a job for younger people. So the unemployment rate is a little bit better. In Spain, it's just different. In Spain, what I love is that people here, they work to live. They know how to enjoy their life. And it doesn't matter if you're 90 or if you're 9. It really doesn't. And you work hard, but you also play hard, and it doesn't matter if it's Thursday, for example, you can go out for a beer or for an ice cream, and kids are very involved also into that family life. There is no separation. It's very family-oriented country, and everybody is mixed together and meeting every Sunday with their family, and I really like that attitude towards life.
Okay. Have you ever been in Spain before this time?
No, the first time that I arrived to Spain was in 2014, also as the language assistant. I worked for a year and then I went back for 2 years, but from literally I came out of the plane and I knew that I'll be back. I just didn't know how, and I didn't know if I'm gonna come back through the program again or whether I'm gonna stay to live here permanently. But I knew always that I would be back. I got hooked right away.
Okay, so now we're going to talk about our planet. So what's your opinion about pollution?
I think that we should all realize that we have a huge part to play in it, that we can't just decide, oh no, the environmental organizations are going to do something about it. We are all a part of it, and we can all affect change, whether it's through elections, whether it's through just doing little things at home and saving, water, for example, or electricity, reusing things more than anything. Of course, recycling as well, but reusing as much as we can, donating our clothes or, our electronics, for example. And I think we just need to take it seriously. We need to be more environmentally aware, and we need to, we need to realize that everything, absolutely everything is interconnected. And if, one little plant or one little species of animals disappears, it affects the rest of us. And I think that thinking about that, we will see our planet a bit differently, and that we will make changes in our day-to-day life.
And what about poverty?
Poverty, same thing. That it's like if you're a big family and you have one member of the family who's in trouble, how can you not help them, right? We are all humans, and in a way, the fact that we're getting richer in the first world countries is creating more poverty in the third world countries. Again, in a way, we're affecting that. The fact that we buy things from, factories in China that are using child labor to produce things at very, very low cost, by doing that, we're contributing to the poverty. And I'm not saying no, make huge donations. Everybody does whatever they can do, but again, we need to be aware, and we need to make our daily choices with that awareness in mind.
Okay. Did you travel to any country that is poor?
That is poor?
Yeah.
Yes, I've been to Southeast Asia and, for example, Cambodia. I've been to South America as well, where, you have Bolivia, and it's kind of in the deterioration period right now, and you see a lot of poverty. And the funny thing is, those people, they are among the happiest that I've ever met, because they know how to be happy with what they have and to really appreciate it, or appreciate any help that they can get. They appreciate that their family is healthy and happy, and that it's not raining, for example, or the sun came out, or the harvest was good that year. So their thirst for life and their appreciation of life really impressed me. So yeah, and I think it's a huge lesson for us as tourists and travelers, to take a lesson out of it. And when we come back home, I think one of the things that really strikes me is that when you come back to a consumeristic society like Canada, you realize how many things you have that you don't actually need, and you buy compulsively just because maybe advertisements or the society dictates you to.
What plans have you got for the future?
I have plans to stay here, for sure. I immigrated, I fell in love, I immigrated. I fell in love with Spain first, and then with a man that I married. And I'm gonna be staying here, and my future plan is to convalidate my diploma and go on to study a little bit more, and then start teaching, because right now I work as a language assistant, but I would like to be a full-time teacher. It's something that I have a huge passion for.
If you could say something, what would it be?
If I could change something about my past, I would definitely spend more time with my family, because I have Russian roots as well, and my grandma lived in Russia. She was with us for a bit in Canada, but I think that I would have really dedicated my time as well as money, for sure, but to make that trip every year and just make the connection, make that visit, as well as once I started traveling and I knew that I wanted to immigrate here, you see your life and you see your friends and your family very differently. You really start to value the time with them. And I think that's what I would have changed.
What regrets do you have?
Regrets. It's important to live without regrets. Well, that would be one of them for sure. That's it. That's it. I really don't regret much. I think that I would have liked to spend, to be more present, I think, because I consider myself to be a good friend, but I don't, when I'm there, I'm there. I'm full-time there, but I don't, even with the social media that we have now, we have the ease of communication, but I don't maintain daily conversations with people, for example. I prefer to see them maybe once a month or once a year and connect for real, maybe face to face. And sometimes maybe that's not good. Maybe sometimes, you know, I miss that point of connection. So maybe that, but no regret.
Okay. And now about music, cinema, literature. What's your favorite film?
Impossible. It's like picking a favorite book. I really don't know.
Do you like cinema?
I love cinema. I'm also very omnivorous when it comes to films or books or literature or art, and I will try to see it, to read it, to you know go and see an exposition. But to pick a favorite, I don't know.
And what film do you recommend me?
Which film would I recommend you? Bridges over Madison County, which is an older film with Meryl Streep when she was a bit younger. There's a lot also, I think, what affected me and my taste for cinematography are my Russian roots, because the cinema there is very different, and you know the black and white films from post-Soviet era are fantastic. And unfortunately, I can't share it, for example, with my English-speaking friends or my Spanish-speaking friends, because the certain nuances of the Russian language, you can't translate them. And that's where the emotion is, or the humor is. So, but I think that affected a lot my taste in cinematography.
What's your favorite kind of music?
Don't laugh at me, but I like classical music. Again, I kind of grew up with it. When I couldn't sleep, my father would just put on some classical music, and you know, it's very soothing. When I study, for example, or I relax, I like to listen to that. Yeah.
Thank you, Arina, for your time. It was a great interview, and I'm sure that people are going to like it.
Perfect. I'm happy to hear that. I had a wonderful year here as well at the school. It was very quiet. I love, you know, the students here. I love the teachers here. So for me, it was a fantastic experience. And maybe you guys don't realize it, but I learned from you as well. So, you know, aside from giving the class, and I hope that you enjoyed as much as I do.
Yeah.
But for me, it's also a learning opportunity. So thank you very much as well.
Thank you.
And thank you, Nueve Valles. So I hope that I'll be able to come back here one day.